call this meeting of the General Government and Public Safety Committee to order. Assume attendance is taken, so if you'll join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, gentlemen. Our next agenda item is comments from citizens.
You didn't start yet, did you?
Hearing none, moving on to public safety. City prosecutor.
No comment.
Fire department activity report. Information's in your packet. Any questions or comments? Any other for fire department?
The only thing is that I got going is I'm buying a few things that we budgeted for.
It's even better.
Like hose and stuff like that for the truck, so. That's the only thing we got going. We got, what?
When we last left the soap opera, you were taking the truck to be checked out. You never made a review.
Oh. I
So
think
you
that's
need to
okay.
report to
It's
good
okay,
news.
the truck's okay. That's good. Has a transmission in 1102?
Yeah.
They said it'll do it a little bit. They said they wouldn't mess with it. So it's fine.
Great.
And they didn't even charge us to look at it, but then I think when I was discussing your all city truck was down there, everybody just added to the street. That's not my problem.
Exactly. Now you're budget.
So yeah, that's okay. Truck's okay.
Great, great. Moving on to the police department activity report. Information's in your packet. Larry sent a text message. He apologizes, but he's on a call at the moment, so will not be attending. Any questions or comments?
Good thing we got through the fire
Thank you,
department.
sir.
And then you're gonna call.
There's a football game tonight, right? Did you get injured?
All right, moving on to emergency management. Siren operation.
A minute to get here.
Huh?
You got a minute to get here.
Perhaps. It's not, I'm sitting here, so. I've been talking with Scott Olson, second and right arm guy, and they're going to be meeting with the county commission to include in the budget for the coming year that the county assume responsibility for warning sirens here in Centralia. And Mark and I have considered that, and they're not assuming a big burden right now because they've just been overhauled, narrowband, and all of that. And so I told them I didn't have any initial concerns, provided that we still have the ability to tone out just our sirens from the dispatch.
You said that would be a problem.
They said, well, they have to be doubly sure with their technical people, but they didn't perceive it was to be a problem. And having the second place to tone out may actually be to their advantage. They may want to back wire where our dispatchers can tone out the whole county if there's something, particularly until the new county 911 system is done, that they, it's a redundant backup. And it's to our benefit. We're not going to be getting rid of our dispatch center, but to the extent that county participates in part of that expense, and certainly radios and things like sirens, the technical stuff, the gear that is used, if we get them to start incorporating that cost in their budget, that saves us money.
Absolutely.
So I'm telling you that just in case somebody has an objection that we haven't considered. Right now, it looks like the best of both possible worlds.
Sure. Very cool, thank you.
It's not a done deal. I mean, it still has to go through the budget process,
They're in.
and we won't know until January 1, but that's the way it's going.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Moving on to protective inspection.
We, last month, had 3 building permits for new housing units given, so we're up to 20 for the year, which is actually quite good. And finally, I was beginning to despair, but they've started the demolition at 535 South Allen. So, one of those dangerous structures will be coming down soon. Any chance that the one you were going to a few minutes ago, Chief, can be vacated and torn down? Maybe she'll burn it down.
I'm gonna take a page out of your playbook. I have so many things that I'd like to say right now. But I expect that
All
the
right.
camera's on, but
Yeah.
I have lots of things I'd like to say with respect to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Exactly. Under general government and finance, we have economic development, credit report.
There was a set of credit minutes in lieu of our physical report. This is submitted.
Any questions or comments? The credit's begun the process of interviewing for a part-time director position. And that interview process has started. No candidate's been selected.
You know, the credit is also planning a wine and cheese social sometime second week in November, like the 12th of November.
More information coming.
Yeah.
Moving on to park board, any information?
You have an agenda and minutes of previous meetings.
Any questions or comments? Moving on to the cemetery.
No report, sir.
Report. Tree board,
No report.
library board, we have
Report.
Aha!
Two quick questions. Is Freddie really the second week in November? Because my husband's making the cheese for that. We haven't gotten that yet. So I want to make sure he knows.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the 12th of November.
And I'm hoping all those building permits are in the library. Okay, after that.
Two are on Pool Street and one is over on Far Evans, something that Jackie's doing.
Okay. This reporting that we had our audit, I think you should have an electronic copy of it, clean audit, all is well. Nothing real new information in there. Still operating at about 30,000 deficit, which we knew because we knew we were still spending into our reserves. We had a clean record as far as the cross-referencing each other for financials and stuff to make sure everything is legit. According to the auditor guidelines, we should have more, but with only 4 employees, we can't have more in place. But they like the fact that one pays bills, one does the checkbook register and that sort of thing. So one person not doing it all. We have 2 signatures on everything we do as far as any checks that are written, any bills that are paid, anything like that requires 2 signatures, mine and a board member. So all is clean there.
It's not like you handle that much large sums of cash.
We're cash in, cash out, really. So, but that's why, yeah, with as small as we are, it's just not possible. So it's no strike against us. It's just an opting thing. Let's see, we are getting ready to go into a remodel paid for by some private citizens in the children's area. It's going to be enclosed, which would be fabulous to get the children's area enclosed so that it'll help noise level, it also help. It actually helps with our perspective too, because it's much earlier to do things like early literacy and things like that we wanna do the babies. We hit story time, which is 3 to 5 or 3 until they start school. We really should be hitting them earlier, like doing story arcs and stuff for babies. That's even a little more noisy than toddlers sometimes. So, 2014, we're really hoping to get early literacy off the ground, running and start hitting those babies to get them early reading before they even get to the school and that sort of thing. So, as you know, we're headed for election. I just grabbed these because I thought, in case somebody asks you, we're asking for a 25-cent increase in April. The highlighted is what it costs per month. That's the only reason that's highlighted. It's not anything,
So it costs to operate the library?
no, this is what it will cost the taxpayer
Oh.
per month
Okay.
if the levy goes through.
I see.
But that's the only reason for the highlight is nothing other than I did that as a discussion with my own board this month, so that's why it's left highlighted. But you'll see several categories, and you guys have done this so many times,
Thank you.
you'll figure it out. There,
You're
yes.
gonna ask us to put it on the ballot,
Yes.
and you know from talking to Merrick when the deadline is for.
January.
Okay.
So just some FYI, because the figures, if people will start, now they're hearing our board talk about it, they know it's out on the streets now as far as, so I want accurate figures out this time. There were some really inaccurate figures last time I went to election. We had a lot of people come up after the election and say they could not afford $500 a year. Yeah. So we really want to get the numbers accurate out in the community when people start asking. So just to give you that. Other things that are going on. Let's see, finish summer reading. Real big hit. Love all the reports when school starts. Kindergarten teachers can always say they can tell the kids they're in story time because they've actually used scissors and not on themselves. So good reports from teachers this year. Our circulation between the schools, as you know, we share the same system, so we deliver books to the schools every day and vice versa. We borrow from them, they borrow from us, and we just hit all four campuses because it's easier for us to get away than an educator. And there is never a day in school, if school's in session, there's never a day we haven't delivered books somewhere. And usually a lot of books. So that's why sometimes the back of that golf cart is actually quite full, depending on the project the schools are doing. So, yeah.
How's your golf cart running?
Awesome. Love it. Still on the same batteries, still on the same 6 batteries, still just a couple bucks a month to burn it. And, I love it. Air it up the tires and that goes faster. I didn't realize there was so much.
I'm curious, what are your plans for making sure that this information is communicated?
Well, actually, that will be done through an election committee that the board is working on now. They actually have the determination of how that they actually proceed with the election. My personal goal is to just communicate to as many social medias as we can, because that's the big one. The press has already had it in the information. My hope is that the election committee does a lot of things, like maybe something at the tractor parade. I was hoping they would get in gear for the Oktoberfest, but the board hasn't quite put them in place yet, so I was hoping they'd hit some big events and then door-to-door, things like that, so.
Great. I guess it being very, very important to get out.
Yeah.
Especially if there's a misconception from the previous.
Exactly, that's my feelings exactly. Again, it's board-driven, so I don't think they're sharing my early plans, but they're good. So, anyway, just, if you have any questions ever, just pick up the phone and call me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
One question, the monthly tax or whatnot, that's 25 cents, so let's say
This is the
$50,000,
Mhm.
Market value or whatever, that's the monthly tax, but that's included, that's everything,
This is the increase.
that's the increase.
This is the increase.
So what is
And we
the established fee that you're getting now before the 25
Right
cents?
now, you're doing 15 on the levy and 15 on the bond.
So
In
30.
2017, the bond goes away. So we're a few shy years of that, but in 2017, the bond does go away, it matures out, so.
That's in
So we're
17.
going up and then back.
That's 15.
Kind of.
So.
And with Hancock, it comes out to like 29.96 or 7, something like that.
That's dollars, it's not mill levy.
Hmm?
The mill tax, on debt service is 7 and a fraction.
Yeah.
And the operating levy is 20, isn't it? Didn't we cap to 20?
That was 15.
No, I think it's higher than that. Whatever it is, you're at the
Or the
cap.
cap.
I'll look it up and I'll let you know next time I see you, so we're exactly.
Yeah, this information is just your increase.
Okay.
Okay. And we just went with, market, last time we did it, we did market value and assessed value and all, it just got too muddy when we're trying to explain to people. So that's kind of why we had it drawn this way, so. And you won't find any agricultural real estate in the library district either, so,
Probably not.
maybe, no,
This being an operating levy, it only applies to those people who are within
in the
the
library
limits
district.
of the library district. So if you're in Cobblestone Lake or Mystic Ridge or Southwest Country or Country Club Estates,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't apply.
That's why I said there's no agricultural.
And they
This
won't
one.
get a chance to vote on it. Only the people within the library district will get a chance to vote on it.
Yeah.
And
And it'll be without going for, with no bond on there, just the levy will be a lot easier. I think that kind of was really difficult last election too, because some voted on, one, some voted on both, some wanted to know why they couldn't vote on anything. It was crazy. I felt sorry for the election people that day because they got a lot of questions that they
Yeah.
were not, allowed to answer really, so. It's a little confusing.
Any other library-related questions? Well, thank you. Moving on to September financial statements. Information's in your packet. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll be moving on. Bills over $1,250. Questions or comments? Hearing none, we're moving on to other general government, employee health insurance. And I know Lynn has something to talk about.
we should do that. Okay, I have no solutions and no recommendations, and you do not have to make any sort of decision tonight. But I've been paying attention to our friends over at Angel and stuff in the newspaper and going to seminars from Williams Keepers, and it's clear as mud. We have been notified by Anthem that we could, if we so wished, renew a month early, i.e. December 1st instead of January 1st, and be able to extend our current policy under the same terms as what we're doing now for an extra 12 months. Absent doing that, we go on Obamacare, ACA. And the best way to approach that is to provide employee insurance, as we've been doing. But we have not yet been able to get any sort of hard figure. I mean, they're supposed to have those numbers out for the exchanges. The exchanges have rates for small business groups, which we would qualify for. So we will have a range of options from Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and from Coventry, which was been bought up by somebody else. If we chose to renew December 1st and put off the bill, the rate increase will be 8%. Which is probably pretty typical. As I said, I don't know what they're going to be if we don't take that option and we go with the exchanges. I'm told it will be another week to a week and a half to get Coventry, and it might be 2 or more weeks to get the Anthem choices. We will check as a geared towards telling me just as soon as he gets the numbers. We're looking at the gold option, which is a 80-20 split of out of pocket versus what they pay. And it's not as good as what we pay now, but it's about gonna be the closest option. And looking at the fine print between Coventry and Anthem, we'll have to get those policies. There's not a lot of flexibility for us. It's gonna be pick one from column A or one from column C over here, because we will not be rated on the health of our group or the past experience of our group. The only things that can be taken into account are age, gender, on some things. Geography, in other words, whether you live in St. Louis, Kansas City, or Central Missouri, because that tends to determine who's going to be offering coverage, and whether you're a smoker. Pre-existing conditions and all that other stuff will apply. So there's, it sort of negates the possibility of bidding out. I'll just have to wait and see.
Sure.
When I get those, there'll be probably a clear direction, whether it'll be a good direction is anybody's guess. But Anthem gave preliminary indications to Curtis that the ACA options would be cheaper. Don't know about Country. Now, into all that mix is the fact that not for the renewal, but for any new ACA coverage that we get through Anthem, it won't include Wound Hospital, Wound Clinic, because they're managed by Barnes Jewish in St. Louis, and Anthem hasn't come to any sort of agreement with Barnes Jewish. I know from talking with the financial guy at Boone that they have reached agreement with Coventry, so I know that coverage will be available. Given that a very significant portion of our employees go to Boone and to Boone Clinic, that's an important consideration that will be in the mix. I'm not holding my breath for them to reach agreement with Anthem, but we'll see.
And who's got the coverage again now?
Right now, Anthem Blue Cross. And if we renew before the end of the year, renew 1 month early, we get the coverage in the hospital, but
Privately.
Right.
Our old plan, and we can still use the hospital,
right, but it's 8% more.
8% more.
Mm-hmm.
And would that 8% come from each employee, or would you, meaning the city, are you planning to cover that 8% times however many employees?
Preliminarily, that's in the mix for the city doing it rather than making any changes. I don't want to trigger any other provisions that might get us fined under Obamacare later.
Oh, I was
And so you're saying we wouldn't have an option but to pick it up?
No. I'm saying the option are go early and pay 8% more. Put the health insurance at those rates into the mix for negotiation with the employee union. And obviously, if health insurance goes up by 8%, that's going to negate some of our ability for any sort of employee raises. And I'm still waiting for a few more responses to get that health salary survey that we have promised, but that will be coming this week. Or we can wait and do ACA. We wouldn't want to go to Anthem because they won't right now cover Blue Cross. In future years you might, you might want to flip-flop coverage year to year to year, because they ain't gonna mean diddly squat about history with the company or anything. And we might find that the best course is going with the boat plan with Coventry. To change to Coventry, I will have to send out employee questionnaires to say, what's your birthday, and are you a smoker?
Well, at this point,
And that's for everybody in the family that's covered.
at this point, we don't have enough information.
We don't, it's just, when it comes through, there's not gonna be a lot of time to react. And I think that's probably part of the design too.
Thank you, Lynn. Well, Chief, we had gone over the activity report and no questions or comments had arisen. Do you have anything from the police department?
A few things. You have the numbers in your packet there. Next Monday at full council, I'd like to swear in a part-time officer. I'm doing some readjustment. I don't know where I'm gonna shake out with this yet, but I'm doing some readjustment with my schedule. The part-time officers that I'm using now, I can't get the biggest bang for my buck on the days that they are available. So, to maximize I heard voices, I heard your
But
idea.
I heard them too, so you're not.
Okay, because I hear them a lot.
There's nobody out there, so.
Sure, right.
Would there have been any reason why that called? Did anyone need utility people or anything? Denny was leaving as you came in.
Yeah, he got a call.
He had a call.
Oh, that was a medical.
Okay. I don't know why we'd be picking up anything on the radio here, but there's nobody out there.
Oh, that's okay, well, never mind. You got some skip ones, okay.
I think we all are doing it.
It's the public works frequency.
No.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna be the first one to see it.
I appreciate that. Anyway, I'm doing some readjustment. I'm really looking at that schedule. I just want to make sure that we're getting what we need to be getting. We just can't hardly do it with two folks on anymore. I mean, right now, we come from Railroad Street, and I'm gonna send the two guys that are on right now down to Columbia with this guy, get him out of our hair, or that'll be labor intensive for, oh, I don't know how long. So, that leaves me holding the back until Super Joe comes on here a little bit. I just want to read the line of the schedule, make sure that I'm getting, so I'd like to swear in this part-time officer next Monday, and I'll get that information to Heather. We were using Aaron Shelton, he's full-time sergeant down in Fulton. Since he got promoted to sergeant, then he goes to a different side of their schedule, so he's out for me.
So this is really a replacement of.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. I guess it's a long-winded story, so I'm just replacing one. And I
The
think-
official out or just functionally out?
Functionally, you draw him back in if he had day off.
Yeah, yes, sir. If that's,
That was a question.
yes, sir. No, there's no hint of impropriety.
No, I mean, you can sever ties with an employee for lots of reasons, good and
And
bad.
this is the best of all possible reasons. He just can't
Right,
be up here.
you're still gonna be able to pull him in.
Oh, if I need to, yeah.
Available out there.
Yeah, I'll do it in a minute. In fact, I'm not gonna take his Centralia commission card from him, quite frankly. Because you never know when you're gonna need that kind of help.
Right.
And,
Fest or something like that.
I'll only ask about that. I know the game's gonna start in 5 minutes. I know. I'll only ask about that, looking forward on that insurance, because, well, it's the kind of things we talk about over there. Does it get you in trouble, Lynn, with, don't answer this again. Does it get you in trouble with the union if you were to say, we're taking an 8% hit on our insurance, and I'm passing it along to you. Does that box you up with the
That's
union?
part of negotiations, so I
Okay.
can't judge that.
Okay,
You know, we were trying real hard to look at the salary survey, which I believe will show that there's not been massive uplift in the last 6 or 7 years
We get-
for our samples.
I understand that. However, I would also tell you that there are guys at Fulton, it's the only thing I can really speak to, like Bill Madden, I think $450 a month comes out of his check for that, for the family plan. So to me, it's 8%, it's tomato tomato. You pay 8% for my insurance, or you don't pay it, and you give me a raise of 8%, it's tomato tomato. All of that conversation is to say, what I have up my sleeve is this. I know I'm pacing around, aren't I?
Guys on the sleeve.
It helps you think.
There's another option though, Chief.
There are lots of options.
We wouldn't have to, we could pass on the 8%, couldn't we? And we wouldn't have to give him a raise either, could we?
Well, I'm just
No,
saying.
they've gone a long way.
Here's my thinking, here's what I got at my sleeve, quite frankly, the 8% means nothing to me. If you figure my salary an hour, it's about a quarter,
It's above minimum wage.
maybe. I wanna find a way, and don't tell me no right away. I wanna find a way. This Jason Hicks, this officer we just swore in the other evening there, he and his wife just bought a home, put an offer on a home, and I'm sure it's gonna be here in Centralia. Well, that means a lot to me. He's young, and he's got a young wife, young baby, she's an RN and all that. Couldn't get any better if you ask me. It's Americana. I'd like to find a way to put him on a full-time status. But when you say full-time status, that means insurance, and benefits, and blah, 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 blah. In the past, I've used this part-time help as a cheap way, if that's what you wanna call it, to get by. I'm having tougher and tougher times finding quality part-time help. That might not be any of your problem, it might be my problem. But, and I hate to come over here and say this kind of thing, I hate to have these conversations in front of the council without at least bouncing it off the city administrator to let him be thinking about it. And I'm not asking you for anything. I'm just telling you, that's what I'm thinking, and that's why I have these questions about the insurance. That being said, all right, we'll move on from that. Did you all get the information about the speed bumps out on Remington?
Haven't discussed it yet.
Oh. Okay.
I think everybody got the email tonight,
I didn't.
I didn't either.
You did, you will,
I
you
gotta
did,
check my email though.
you will. It came from Richard Dickerson.
did they? Yeah, I just got it shortly before the meeting, so.
Oh.
Oh, I want to do something out there, I say aye, I think it's important, we gotta do something out there on Remington. Huh? Go, Subway.
Oh, okay.
You turn back in there and those those dwellings, they're so compact in there. It
Mhm.
seems like everyone has 3 or 4 cars, boats, dune buggies, motorhomes. I don't know how it, anyway, we are taking on a complaint, maybe once a week, maybe more, about speed. We turn in there ever so gentle off of 22.
And then mash the gas.
And then we find a way to try to set the land speed record between 22 and that little curve. Well, Richard Dickerson sent you all emails with photos.
Yeah.
You will, I think it was sent to
Check.
the mayor, self, city administrator.
Lynn and Larry and I, Carl, yeah.
If you could be so kind to forward that to the other voters here,
Okay.
we appreciate it. Anyway, we're really gonna have to look at that. And the city administrator's gonna tell you, and I appreciate that.
I don't want speed bumps, there's gotta be a better way.
That he doesn't want speed bumps because it's tough on equipment if you're trying to snowplow. I get it, I know that. Our limit is this.
What about robocall?
That's what I was thinking.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
It-
Robocop.
It's a free tool.
But it's tough to get back in there and do any kind of enforcement, because one, you can't park back in there. And I'm not sure that this, us jumping out of the bush and attacking folks, I'm not sure that that's the right thing either. We gotta be smarter than that. It's not anyone's fault, it's just the way it is. It's just so compact back in there, it's tough to do any type of enforcement. Now, there are some options available. I'm not saying we gotta vote on anything tonight, but I'm asking you this. Landon's been out there with me, Jim's been out there. You go out there and take a peek between now and full council meeting, if you have time, please. Go out there and take a peek after 5 o'clock in the evening. But you better be thinking about where you're gonna turn around. It'll be in that lot there on the end of the road. He's gonna tell you a little bit that road is gonna go on out there. But they keep building those things so close in there, there's no place to park. Now, Lynn did put up a sign out there, and that helped a lot, and Richard Dickerson stated so in his email. But whether we do these little inclines, Alderman Magley watched that the other day in Columbia. Just build them. Then there are these concrete things, Jim Lee and I drove over one out at Chances out there by plastics. It's that concrete little walkway, only goes up about 2 or 3
Yeah,
floors.
that thing will slow you down.
That thing will slow you down, and it's wide enough, it's wide enough that it wouldn't, you'd only hit it once. But I'd like for you really to take a look at that, because these are decent folks out there, and I don't know how we get out there, to write sums, I don't know how we do that. There's no way to do that in a fair and equitable fashion. Just go look at it and be thinking about, we're gonna have to do something out there. Now, the other side is about to tell you his argument, but I'm telling you that we need to take a peek at that, because it's no one's fault. It's just those homes are so compact.
I guess I'm not making the relationship between the homes being tight and the speeding.
There's so many kids out there.
It should be a negative effect.
It should
The
slow
fact that-
people down. The conditions are,
You would think.
The narrower a road, the more the tendency is for people to drive slower. If you're out there, most times of the day, even in the daytime, there are so many cars parked in the street on both sides that you have a hard time getting past common traffic. There is no reason anybody should be speeding on that street.
They do.
It's a fact. Well, it's a fact. Now, you could make the case that, one or two, well, there's one, and I don't think that he's the problem. He's Boone County firefighter out there. I've never heard a complaint about him coming out there commensurate with his fire duties. It just depends on what day it is as to who's doing the complaining and who the target of that complaint might be. But I'll ask you to just read your emails there from Richard and go out there and take a peek at it.
I just forwarded it to everybody, so.
Thank you.
And it's complete with action photos, Richard's.
Yeah.
is. So, I know, I'm sorry you asked if I had anything, but that's, We recovered stolen car today. Pretty good police work, if you ask me.
Outstanding.
It was too.
Very good. Did the owner want it back?
The owner right now knows it was involved in a small altercation. Small might have been the wrong,
Yeah.
but other than that,
All right. Thank you very
I'm
much.
content, unless you have any questions for me.
Thank you, sir. Moving on to other. Any other? How about as may arise? Anything? The council?
Have we heard anything about Clifford building?
No.
Nope. Haven't been out there
Admittedly, I
in a
haven't.
couple weeks.
Yeah, I haven't even
Couple
reached
months.
out. Probably due for another
Yeah.
neighborhood call.
Yep.
Any other as may arise? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Someone needs to make a motion.
Motion. Motion adjourned.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I hear a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Our meeting is adjourned.
that would be a blessing.